Hi, my loves. Welcome to your Cosmic Weather Report for the week ahead. What a week we've got this week. We've got such a powerful week this week for being able to really alter the direction of our lives, make choices and changes that really help us to go in the direction that we want to go and begin to create a new reality for ourselves of the kind of world that we want to live in. This is just a power-packed week, so let's get straight into it. Monday, we get Mercury sextile Neptune, first of all. Now, with Mercury sextile Neptune, your intuition is going to be incredibly heightened. There's going to be an ability to be able to receive cosmic wisdom, insights, downloads, answers, clarity, to be able to, if you work with spirit guides, angels, ascended masters, cosmic consciousness, to really be able to tap into a deeper intelligence, a universal intelligence, a source energy. So really begin the week, if you can, by quiet meditation, opening and expanding your mind. It's going to be a really big theme through the whole of the week. You might journal a little bit on Monday morning around what it is that you want, around perhaps changes that you want to make. If you've got things you're struggling with, if you need answers to questions, this might be a wonderful time to put out there what you need guidance with, what you need help with. It's just going to be a beautiful day for really being able to access the limitlessness of our minds and psychic abilities, intuitive knowing, and as I say, cosmic consciousness. Now, on the same day, we get Jupiter trine Pluto. This is going to be such a beautiful energy. This is going to bring in, this only happens every 12 years. And the last time this happened with Pluto in Aquarius was the late 1700s. So it's not happened for a really, really long time. This is going to bring rare opportunities. It's going to bring in miracles. It's going to bring in those things that only happen perhaps once in a lifetime. It's going to be a real once in a lifetime energy. It's going to really help us to step into the fullness of our power, the fullness of who we are. Pluto is going to help clear things that are no longer needed, to break down things that are no longer serving you, to really give you the ability to leave behind what is no longer resonant. Pluto being that planet of death, rebirth and transformation. Pluto is going to bring a clearing energy through, and then Jupiter is going to expand us then into new growth, new beginnings, new manifestations, new abundance, new energy, new optimism, new hope, a new outlook. So this is going to be a really big energy of closing and completing something to enable this once in a lifetime kind of energy to come in. And so pay attention this day, or set some intentions this day around those bigger visions that you have for yourself, for humanity, for the world, for life, those things that we really dream of, that there's perhaps a little bit of it, there's like, could that come true? Could that happen? This is a day for really stepping into your power to create your own reality. And that again is going to be a big theme that's going to carry on through the week. But Monday is going to help us to really stand in that semblance of power of, I am a powerful co-creator. I create my reality. This is what I want. This is what's in the way, needs clearing out. And Pluto can sometimes come in and take things if you've been dithering around. So please just trust anything that's happening around these times. On the same day, we get Mercury moving into Gemini. Now, Mercury rules Gemini, is very at home there. So this is going to bring in this ability to be able to communicate, to be able to gather information, to be able to connect the dots, to be able to really, again, be in that expansion of our mind, in our wisdom, in our growth, in being able to say the right things at the right time and seek the knowledge that we need. And it's going to start to really bring everything together. We get another big day then on Tuesday. We get a Venus Cassimi. We also then get Mercury meeting Jupiter and Pluto. So first of all, that Venus Cassimi, remember the word Cassimi means into the heart of the sun. So it's when planets meet with the sun, and the sun then infuses the energy of that planet and kind of beams it down to us. So with this Venus Cassimi, the big energy is going to be around relationships, starting with relationship with self. It's going to help you to get into real right relationship with yourself. This is who I am. I know who I am. I know what I'm worthy of. I know what I'm deserving of. I know what I desire. I know what I value. I know what I want. I know that this is who I am. With the sun being the energy of how we're here to shine and kind of who we're here to be, there's going to be this big energy of knowing who you are, of being ready to be seen, to shine, to open yourself up to love, to open yourself up to being all of who you are. It's going to be just such a sweet day for stepping into that true presence of your values, your worth, your knowing, and this real knowing of who you are. Now, as Mercury then meets Jupiter, Mercury's going to conjunct Jupiter and trine Pluto. So Mercury's going to pick up on that energy from the day before. And this is going to help us to, Mercury meeting Jupiter is going to help us to expand our mind beyond those limitations. So all those human limitations that put us in a box or put a ceiling on what we want and say, oh, this is what's possible, or that's not possible, or that would never happen. There's going to be this opening and expansion of our minds. And with Mercury meeting Pluto, an ability to really be able to dig deep into our minds, to really understand the limitations of our minds, understand where our minds put boundaries around what isn't possible for us, where our minds keep us stuck or hold us back, trying to protect us, but in doing so, limit us in some way. And again, with this Jupiter-Pluto energy of Pluto clearing out the way, Pluto is going to help us to really become aware of those limitations in your mind, the limitations of your beliefs, the limitations of your thoughts. So when you start to do something, you get that brave energy, you step into who you are, and then that little thought at the back of your mind goes, oh, should we do that? And the little voice starts. And it's that little kind of tape player that goes on in the back of the mind all the time. Pluto is going to help us to really bring those shadows to the light, so that those thoughts are no longer subconscious, unconscious. They're going to be brought to the forefront, so we can look and say like, wow, this is what's going on in there all the time. And then Jupiter is going to help us to then take that, and having shone a light on that, expand beyond that, take off the ceiling, break out of the box, open our minds to everything that could be possible. And so what you can see at the moment is this beautiful theme that's still working with those Sagittarius full moon energies, but now this is leading us to the Gemini new moon, which happens on Thursday. So the Gemini new moon is going to be this gorgeous opportunity to really realize how we create our own reality through our mind. And so this new moon is going to help us to make friends with our mind, and to really begin to, having seen perhaps the limitations of our mind, having seen the limitations of our beliefs, having seen where we keep ourselves small or stuck or afraid or in a box, or this is all that's possible for me. There's going to be an ability to be able to start to see beyond, to see the possibilities, to see the opportunities, to really work with those Jupiter and Gemini energies. Remember that shift happened last week that's taking us into this year-long cycle of, rather than looking at what could go wrong, we're being asked to look at what could go right, to change our mind, to change our mindset, to reprogram our thoughts and our beliefs to what could be possible. What can we create in our reality? What kind of world can we create? What can we have in our lives? How can we really begin to move forwards and make changes and make different choices? And so this new moon is a moon of choices and changes, helping us to make different choices and to make the changes that we know we need to make. A lot of our choices in life are based on this unconscious programming that goes on all the time. So we're constantly making choices and decisions based on the doubts and fears in our mind of what happened in the past. And this new Jupiter and Gemini energy that we worked with Mercury last week, you can see Mercury is still so active this week, is asking us to go through that reprogramming. And also, just while we're on this note, just really quickly, the solar flares are big again at the moment. And these solar flares are helping to break down our old patternings, our old beliefs, and upgrade us to a new consciousness, to help us to really begin to be in this new conscious awareness and this new energy. And so what we're going through at the moment is this kind of breaking down of the old and the old limitations and the old thought patterns and the old ways we used to do things, so that we then have the space to create something new that is abundant and expansive and is filled with hope and optimism and opportunity and possibility. And so that's the kind of world we start to create, one that is filled with much more of this energy. And so this new moon is where we begin to set real intentions of how it is that we want to make different choices and make changes in our life that are expansive and abundant and optimistic, that start to take us in the direction of where we want to go. Saturday, then we get Venus square Saturn. Now, this is going to be a really nice day then for self-reflection, for really checking in with yourself. We've, as the week's gone on, discovered perhaps our limiting beliefs where we get in our own way. We've started to step into our power more. We've set these new intentions with the new moon. And as Venus then squares Saturn, we get to really self-reflect. We get to really look at ourselves. We get to perhaps take responsibility for where we are in our lives. And with that comes the power then to be able to make the real changes that we want to make. It's also a really wonderful time for setting new boundaries and foundations around your values, your desires, what you do and don't want, what isn't okay for you as we start to move into these new beginnings. So it's a wonderful day for self-reflection of, where do I give too much of myself away? Where do I have no boundaries? Where am I constantly doing things that I don't really want to do and giving too much of my energy away to places it's not deserved? And where am I going to start to draw some boundaries around my sense of self, my sense of values, my sense of worth? Where am I no longer going to allow myself to be in positions where my worth isn't being valued? So it's going to be a really wonderful day here of self-reflection and of creating new boundaries. And then Sunday, we get the Sun then square Saturn. So in a similar kind of theme, this is going to ask you to then look at that real sense of self. And where are you not being all of yourself? Where are you morphing into different versions of you, perhaps with different people? Where are you not allowing yourself to shine, or standing in your full presence, or believing fully in yourself, or following your purpose? And how can you now begin to lay new structures and foundations in your life around a real sense of self that's going to help you to move forwards differently? And on this same day, Mars moves into Taurus. Now, Mars in Taurus is going to help us to really find firm foundations and anchors in our intentions and our desires, and the courage and the fearlessness to start to move towards what we want. But Mars in Taurus does it in a slow and steady way, where we get the foundations right and we put it all in place, and we know who we are, and we know what we're capable of, and we know what we want, and then we go out there and we really get it. So it's going to give us this wonderful opportunity to start to move forward, but in a very stable and anchored way. There's a real desire with Mars in Taurus to find an inner stability, a safety, an anchoring, a real sense of presence and present moment presence. Because remember, we can only move forward from the present moment. We can't move forward from a past version of us, or if we're trying to leap into the future. So Mars in Taurus helps us to come into the present and to know that the only moment we ever truly have is this present moment. And it's only from this moment that we can begin to make the changes that we want to make. So it brings us into the present. It can sometimes give us a reality check of where we are if we've been avoiding certain things, but then it says, right, from here, from where you are now. It's like if I tried to give you directions on a map, but you didn't know where you were, you couldn't follow the directions. So in the same way, if we're trying to move into new intentions and we don't really know where we are right now, it's not going to be as effective. So Mars in Taurus helps us to go, this is where you are right now. Is it where you want to be? And if not, let's make the plan. Let's start to look at how we're going to make the changes from this secure, safe and anchored space to be able to make the changes long lasting. So we're not just doing like knee-jerk things and thinking, oh, I'll change this, and then in a week's time we've gone back to old habits. This is about now change for the longer term. So this is just going to be a week of really clearing out the old beliefs, old thoughts, to bring in something new, something that is in alignment with this Jupiter and Gemini energy that we've got now for a year, that's going to take us into expanding our minds beyond limitations into hope, possibility, abundance, joy, manifestations, bringing through what we want. So work with the energies of this week. I know there's been a lot in that report. I'm going to close it up here because I get 15 minutes to be able to put all this into. I try and keep it to that for you. So A lot going on this week, I know. You might need to listen back once or twice more. I really hope, as always, this helps. And just know that we're in this together. We're navigating these times together. I've got you. You've got this community. We've got each other. And together we are going to move into these new times and this new world. So much love.